I ran a $300 meta ad campaign and did $85 in playlisting for this song that has made a total of $752 in royalties and is increasing at $20 per month. If you watch this video, you will be able to promote your music better. To do this, I will walk you through my playlisting strategy and show you my exact meta ad campaign setup. And make sure you stick around to the end to find out how you can still fail even if you copy exactly what I did for this song. I know so many of you don't have the number of fans that you should, and I want to change that, so let's jump in. Let's start with the playlisting. The song Do Better got roughly 30,000 of its streams from this playlist. It is nowhere close to the main driver of streams for the song, but it still plays a very important role. When a song is in a playlist, Spotify associates that song with the other songs around it. This is one of the ways that Spotify can recommend songs to users who haven't heard those songs before. So if you make music like Martin Garrix, and your song is in a playlist that has a decent amount of traffic with other songs on it by Martin Garrix, Spotify will probably start associating you with Martin Garrix and will recommend your song to Martin Garrix fans. Currently, every one of our releases gets between 10 and 30% of its total streams from our playlist, and that helps boost them in the Spotify algorithm. So how do you build a good playlist? Well, the most important thing is to make a playlist that can break even on your ad spend. My label has hundreds of releases, and we fill our playlist with those releases, and so we can break even on our ad spend just through the royalties those songs collect from the playlist. If you do not have hundreds of songs that you can put into a playlist, then your strategy will most likely be to become a curator on playlist platforms like Playlist Push or Submit Hub once you hit 1,000 followers on your playlist. You can then take submissions for your playlist for a fee and then reinvest that money back into growing your playlist. This is exactly what I did before I started a label. Hitting 1,000 followers on a playlist should cost somewhere in the ballpark range of $300 to $500 in meta ad spend. It is important to have a playlist cover photo, at least 50 to 100 songs in the playlist that are relevant to your music, and a name that is searchable. The way I calculated $85 in playlisting for Do Better is the total amount of ad spend spent on the playlist divided by the number of label releases on that playlist. This is our playlist campaign on the Meta Ads Manager. Right now, we have 2 separate ad sets running. Each has only one creative in it. At any given time, we're spending between $20 and $30 per day on the campaign overall. And if I want to test a new creative, which you can see here that I have done many different creatives in the past, then I will allocate about 30% of the daily ad spend to a new visual and then adjust the budget based on the results. Ideally, I'd be making a new ad creative every single week, but currently I only have enough time to do 1 or 2 new ad creatives for this campaign per month. Currently working on getting those numbers up though. Let's take a look at the 2 ads that are currently running for this playlist. Here's number 1.
I don't know if I'm just tired. I don't know if I'm to blame. Maybe I'm just sick of trying over and over again. Something about this feeling, it feels so wrong. It's been like this ever since you've been gone.
And let's take a look at the second ad that we currently have running for this playlist.
I don't know if I'm just tired. I don't know if I'm to blame. Maybe I'm just sick of trying.
The second ad is pretty much the same thing as the first, but with different scenery. And of course, all of the ads that we have running for this campaign send people to this landing page when they click on the ad, and then they can choose their music service of choice. And here you can see the playlist has over 50,000 followers on it, and that is all thanks to the ads that we are running. I'm not going to go through every single setting for this campaign because the settings are the exact same that we use for our individual song campaigns, and I'm about to go into all the details for our individual song campaign now. Real quick, if you make EDM and you don't want to have to bother with all of these complicated ad campaigns and you don't want to spend money on marketing, well then submit a demo to my record label, Separation Music, where we do all of that for you. If your demo is accepted, we handle the meta ads and the playlisting so that you can focus on your music. The total ad spend for the individual song ad campaign is $300 over the course of about 35 days. The total cost to send somebody from Facebook or Instagram to the landing page and then to Spotify was 24 cents. In addition to playlisting, campaigns like this do a really good job of triggering the Spotify algorithm. That is because this method finds people who like your song and then send them to Spotify pre-vetted. This gives Spotify a lot of positive signals because the people who are going to listen to the song already know that they probably like it just based on what they heard in the ad. And so your song gets a lot of saves, a low skip rate, and a high listen through rate. And that lets Spotify know this is a good song, recommended to a bunch of people. An effective meta ad campaign can trigger algorithmic growth that lasts for years. This is a graph showing the average cost per person sent over to Spotify while the campaign was on. You'll notice that the campaign actually ended 22 months ago, but we're still getting tens of thousands of algorithmic streams from Spotify. And it's not all just because of this playlist, it is because of the campaign that we ran. And we know this because we have a lot of songs that we did not run individual campaigns for that are in the playlist that do not get anywhere near the results that this song has gotten. This song took about 8 to 10 months to actually break even on the ad spend, and then almost 2 years to double the initial investment. The first thing I want to point out is how much the cost dropped for this song. When we started, the first few days were over 50 cents per conversion. That's really bad. We didn't really touch anything. We did mess with the budget twice, changed it from $10 to $15 and then back to 10. But aside from changing the budget, we did not turn any ads off. We did not mess with any of the settings, and it allowed our cost to drop as the campaign continued, to the point where we were getting sub 20 cents per conversion by the time the campaign was over. I'll go over to the edit tab now to go line by line through this campaign. Our campaign details. The buying type is auction. The campaign objective is engagement. We set a budget limit of $300 so that once we hit that mark, the campaign would stop spending. In this case, we used an ad set budget, but this doesn't matter when there's only one ad set. So if you have one ad set, you can use either one of these. It will be the same. We did not do an A/B test for this particular campaign. Now I'll go over to the ad set settings. So the naming here, this stands for using tier 1 and tier 2 countries, Instagram and Facebook placements, and targeting the EDM interests. The conversion location is website because our conversion is happening on a landing page on an external website. The performance goal is to maximize the number of conversions, and the dataset or pixel that I'm using is the one that I use for every single song that we promote. The conversion event that I'm using is a Hyped It Smart Link Click. You will only be able to use this event if you are using a Hyped It landing page for your music promotion. It's what I recommend, it's the one I have the most familiarity with, and it's a great price. I do not have a cost per result goal, and my attribution model is standard. I am not using a dynamic creative. The daily budget for this ad campaign by the end of the campaign was $10 per day. I typically do $10 to $15 per day in order to test a song, and then I can raise the budget or stop that campaign if I do or do not like what I see. I have a start date, but I did not have an end date for the song, but the campaign started on the day of the song release. In the audience, I do not use Advantage Plus audience. If Meta is complaining to you about you not using Advantage Plus, that means you have the setting correct, so make sure that you have that off. Sometimes you have to come down here and click a button that says further limit the reach of your ads. That is the button you need in order to turn off Advantage Plus audience. If you have Advantage Plus audience on, the issue you will run into is that you'll get conversions, but then you won't have any engagement over on Spotify, which defeats the entire purpose of running an ad like this in the first place. The countries I use are tier 1 and tier 2 countries. I will list the spreadsheet that has all of these countries in it in the description of this video so that you can copy it. I like to start campaigns off with tier 1 and tier 2 together. Using tier 2 countries helps you to get more algorithm boosts in tier 1 countries, and so paradoxically, the fastest way to get streams in places like the United States is to spend your ad dollars in a bunch of other countries. The age for this campaign was 18 to 50. I like to keep the age range broader than I think I actually should. I always do all genders, and then for the Advantage Plus detailed targeting, which is not Advantage Plus audience, but acts similarly, I am targeting Spotify, narrowed by electronic dance music, and then narrowed by video games. I currently am not doing the video game narrowing anymore, but I used to, because I figured, well, this EDM is kind of like gaming EDM, and so that's how I can find my subsection of my audience. Currently, targeting is so unimportant compared to your ad creative and the song that I don't really do anything with this aside from just targeting the genre that the song is. I'll skip over the beneficiary, payer, and ad transparency sections because these have nothing to do with how your ads actually perform or where they show up. For ad placements, I do manual placements always. Do not do Advantage Plus placements, even though it is recommended. The reason for that is because you will have the same issue that you would have if you did Advantage Plus audience. Lots of conversions, no engagement on Spotify. That defeats the purpose of running these campaigns. In this campaign, I targeted Facebook feed, Instagram Explore, all of the stories, and all of the reels except for profile reels, and then of course no WhatsApp statuses or anything that are not video placements. I currently run ads mostly to Instagram, but in this campaign I did do Facebook. The positives of running ads to Facebook and Instagram is you typically will have a cheaper cost. The downside is sometimes Facebook can introduce a small variation of the problem that happens with Advantage Plus audience and Advantage Plus placements, where you can get an inflated number of conversions, but not really see those actually turn into streams on Spotify. This does not always happen. It is a slight risk, and so you can decide whether you want to take that risk or not. For the actual ads themselves, the video looks like this. This video is just the album cover for the song with the Spotify logo in it, and then we use an AI video generator to turn the album cover into a moving video. So it's a very simple visual, and it worked very well for this campaign. We, of course, used our label Facebook and Instagram pages to promote it. The format was a single image or video. The website link or landing page that we use looked like this. If you click play, it sends you over to Spotify and starts playing the song automatically. We do not have any browser add-ons or anything like that. And down here, you can see the text we used. The text should be something that can connect with your potential audience, even if they don't know who or what you are. I usually say something like, if you love Progressive House, check out this song. Or if you love EDM, check out this song. Or if you love Martin Garrix, this song is for you. And then a couple other things like EDM for when your love is falling apart, or in this case, POV, you love EDM and your relationships are in shambles. I like to fill up the text options. I do 4 or 5 for every single ad creative, and then let Meta decide which one to show people. I do not add headlines, and I do not add descriptions. The call to action is listen now, and Advantage Plus creative enhancements, I check these every once in a while. I usually just use whichever ones are default. Every once in a while, something pops up that I don't like. So I say that this is usually personal preference. Go in, see if there's anything you want on, and if there's something you want off, turn it off. I haven't noticed any difference in campaign performance when I have these things on versus when I have them off. In this particular ad campaign, I had 3 sections of the song that I was testing, and in this case, one of the sections performed way better than the others. We can see that verse 1 was under 20 cents per conversion, while drop 2 was 34 and drop 1 was 83. Of course, drop 1 did not get a lot of ad spend, so we really can't say how this would have done long term, but Meta did not choose to spend money on it because it thought it would not do well. And it was probably right. It did find something under 20 cents, which is very, very good. Now, I am going to address why you might still fail, even if you copy exactly what I did. What people fail to understand is that applying a great marketing strategy to a song does not mean that that song is going to do well. Why? If people don't love the song, they're not going to listen to it, regardless of how good looking you are, how good you are at running ads, or how much you spend. What does this mean for you? As a label, artist, or marketer, your goal is to be successful on average. And so if you release 10 songs and promote all of them, hopefully 1 or 2 does well enough to cover the losses of the other 8. Back in August, my label released 5 songs in a row that totally flopped, and it sucked. Seeing that many songs that I believed in not perform well felt bad, and I'm sure it felt even worse for the artist. But that's just how this game works. You never know if the next 5 songs are all going to be successes. What you have to do is apply the same marketing over and over again, get better at it each time, and get better at finding or releasing or creating music that you love. I showed you our playlist strategy, I showed you our individual ad campaign strategy, and addressed a major misunderstanding in music marketing. I hope this video helps you to reach more people with your music.